Are you really?
Because I've always known that I wanted to be in entertainment. I made
Uh-huh.
it very clear at a young age. Because my EP, what genre can you say? Like, there's a camera over there, over there,
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
I used to imagine that was my life. Just being an only child, my mind, I
Mm,
had to imagine a lot. I had to entertain myself.
yeah,
The messages that she shares,
yeah.
although it might come across as comical, but she's saying something that's very real.
You recreated the final episode of the Real Housewives of Durban.
At the end of the day, I feel like people want to relate.
When they
Yes.
watch the show, how do you wish that they would watch it?
Thank you for watching our video. This show is sponsored by DreamStream. DreamStream is a unique platform where creators can monetize their video content. All creators rely on support from people like you. Join us on the DreamStream platform to support your favorite creator and view the episode without any adverts. Follow the link in the description for a how-to guide. DreamStream, a place where you can create yourself.
It is the Real Queer Talk with myself, Tolo, the inimitable one, Mutaung. Welcome once again. I trust that you are ready for today's episode as much as I am super ready for it. I'm super, super excited. I must say that. I mean, with over 500,000 followers on TikTok, Tadéus has captured the hearts of many with his captivating content. With his compelling self-titled EP, Tadéus, we are actually have started to enjoy his music. If you haven't, well, I don't know where you are living, but you definitely have to check it out. Born Siboniso Tadéus Mbatha, better known as Tadéus, he's a multi-talented content creator, actor, and artist from South Africa. And I have to say from South Africa because he is celebrated all over the world. And today we're having the pleasure of having a chat with him. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a great pleasure uh, pronouncing your name.
Yes. Okay.
Uh,
Let's
it's
begin.
it's a sport.
Yeah, let's begin there. Because I heard some things that need some altercations. Okay.
Please help out.
So Siboniso
Uh-huh.
Tadéus Mbatha.
Tadéus.
Yes.
There we've got it. Tadéus. I'm sorry for butchering it.
No problem. No
but
problem.
I'm glad that you were able to correct me.
Yes.
Yeah. So where does the name come from? It's a unique name.
Yes, it is.
How did it come about that you have it?
So I come from a Catholic family, and if you're Catholic, you know that once you get baptized, you get given a name from the Bible of
Yeah.
one of the saints. So there's Saint Michael, Saint Mary, Saint Anne, Saint whatever, whatever. So I was given Saint Judas Taddeus.
Okay.
So he was apparently cousin to Jesus.
Yeah.
He was the second Judas because there was another one who was the evil one who stole the money. He was the bad one. So now this Judas is the good one, Judas Taddeus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we learn every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you decided to embrace the name. I
Yes.
mean, now it's your brand name.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Is there a particular reason you decided on that?
The most major one, I'd say, it's because it's unique.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
how Taddeus? No one else in the world.
It can only
be
the Mbatha today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I that's the major reason why I said I want to embrace it. Taddeus. Also, I think my family tells me all the time that I am very much a result of lots of prayers and manifestations. I'm an only child. It took a very long time for my parents to have a child. So I'm a result of, manifestations and prayers, and that name holds a lot of power in that. So that's why I decided to embrace that name
Yeah.
so much.
Sure. And you're not only a gift to them, you're also a gift to the world.
Yes.
And how are they managing that part of you?
They're so proud.
Yeah.
They're so proud to share their gift to the world. Yeah, very, very supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but was it not an issue for them that you decided to take the arts? Yeah. I mean, generally, particularly in traditional African families,
Yes.
when you once you go into the entertainment space, in the showbiz space, it's more of when now we are like this is how you're going to
Yeah.
make money, how you're going to make a living out of this. Was it the same with you, or it's been different?
It definitely was the same
Yeah.
because I've always known that I wanted to be in entertainment. I made it very clear at a young age, Karima, this is this is where I want to go.
Yeah.
But they were hesitant because I guess that's also a thing with entertainment. It's such a fantasy career. It's
Eish.
such a I want to be famous. I want to be
Yeah.
in television. I want to be in magazine. I want to do all this. So a lot of our parents grew up in a time where dreams didn't really come true, and that was based on circumstance. A lot of them come from poor backgrounds. We were in apartheid, so
Yeah.
also that alone was also a huge factor in our parents not having their dreams realized. So there's still that fear within them. So I think for them, once they started seeing me progressing in content creation, that's when they were like, okay, maybe you are getting somewhere with this,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still did go to school as they expected me to. I went to UCT and I studied political science,
Yeah.
film and journalism,
Okay.
and got that degree. And I said, here, now
I've
let
done
me
your
go.
part.
I've done your part.
Yeah.
Now let me go. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, they've been very supportive thus
Okay.
far now.
Yeah.
But at first they were like, hey, we are not sending you to varsity to go study drama or music.
Yeah.
So I grew up having to find a platform to sort of feed this passion because I've always had a passion for entertainment. So I had to find it. And then when creation came, it was sort of easier for me to do something with it and see where I can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's start with music. 22nd of March, you dropped your EP.
Yes.
Incredible music.
Thank you.
Miu Ama is my favorite amongst the songs.
Yes.
I've just been on replay, I
Yes.
must say. How has it been going? How has it been received so far?
It's been received very well. I think music has always been a part of the plan. I've always been a singer. I've always sung. I think like one of my earliest memories is me in preschool. Whenever we'd sing the national anthem or we'd sing the prayer, Our Father, they'd always sing it in a certain way. There's a certain way that the national anthem is sung, but I'd always be like, you know what? I'll do my own thing.
Let me give it
let me
a-
give it some spice. So that's one of the earliest memories I have of myself singing. And I've always just been a singer. Always. And I've
Yeah.
always just had this thing of performing.
Yeah.
So I still do it now, even where I imagine my closet is my audience and then my deodorant will be my mic. And so in my mind there's thousands of people just screaming, performing, and it's a dark room and then I have a spotlight and everybody's like shining a light and I'm
Yeah.
performing. I still do it even now.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Could that be part of manifesting that for the future?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm well on my way to getting there.
Yeah. So how would you describe your music? Because when I listen to it, I'm in Joburg, I'm in KZN, but I'm in Italy.
Yes.
How would you describe it?
I think it's a mixture of so many different personalities because I guess with me, I'm able to fit myself in any situation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I always say it's not a personality disorder.
Yeah.
I'm able to just be mutable.
But I think that's because you're a creative.
Yes.
You're able to be flexible.
Yes.
Based on
Yes.
whatever the situation or where you are.
Yes. So I was I don't know if you've heard Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. There's a moment in the album where it says genres are a very funny thing. And I said, yeah, because my EP, what genre can you say?
True. True.
Genres are very limiting. I think that's
Yeah.
the narrative that Beyonce's been trying to push. And I said, spot on.
Sure. That makes so much sense. Having
Yes.
listened to it, it really
Yes.
does make sense. And I think that's why I'm also asking this question because, like I say, you feel that you're in Joburg, but there's a bit of the Zulu thing coming
Yes.
in. But no, actually, no, I'm in Italy, you know. So like, you
Yeah.
know, it's that global when you listen to it, you know.
Yes.
And I think also what I love is the quality of the music,
Yes.
right?
Thank you.
You know, you can hear when something has been rushed, you know, to do it for the sake of taking it out,
Yes.
but also you hear something that has been done with passion
Yes.
and meticulously so, you
Yes.
know, to make sure that there's a certain level
Yes.
of quality and standard that is being taken
Yes.
out.
Absolutely.
And for you, you know, what inspired you and what kind of work went behind it?
I think from a writing perspective, I was writing about all the things I've experienced coming out of being a teenager into being a young adult, and that's love,
Yeah.
mental health, and just choosing to be happy.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just choosing to be happy in the end. I think I've been writing the songs for a very long time, 6 years, if
Wow.
I'm counting.
Yeah.
And so when I finally decided to take a step of recording,
Mhm.
everything just made sense. I
Yeah.
could just apply what I've been writing to the music, and it all just came together.
It's been a journey.
Yeah, it
It's been a
has.
journey. And I think the mistake that we do is when something as good as this comes out, we think, ah, it was just done overnight, you know.
Yes.
But like you say, it's been years.
Mm.
And I mean, 500,000 followers
Mm.
and 13.3 million likes
Yes.
on TikTok. How do we get there? This is huge.
I think passion is what got me there.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, I had to find a platform because also the schools I went to didn't really offer drama.
Mm,
Um, my parents obviously saying I'm not going to varsity to study drama or
yeah.
anything in the arts or entertainment. So I had to find something to feed this passion. Also, I remember growing up, I used to imagine there are cameras. I don't know if you've watched Leon Schuster.
Yeah.
After he pranks people, it's like there's a camera over there, over there,
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
I used to imagine that was my life.
Wow.
That's why I used to be so dramatic as a kid because I'm performing for the camera. So I used to imagine that when I grow up, I'm going to watch my life back as like a documentary or reality show. I still think so now. Probably it's going to
Yeah.
happen one day where I'm going to see maybe the cameras were real. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I guess I've also just being an only child, my mind, I had to imagine a lot. I had to entertain myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, with your Instagram and TikTok, you seem to be taking different directions from both.
Yeah.
Is that intentional? And if so, why?
It's not intentional. I think the approach is what each of them require in their respective ways.
Okay.
So I still do post my videos on Instagram,
Yeah.
but also with that there's um a certain presentation I'm bringing forth, and that's from fashion because
Yeah.
I feel like I really do dress well. So I
You do.
thank
You
you.
do.
So I like
We're
to
gonna
show.
talk about that in a moment. You do.
So I like to showcase that on my Instagram and stuff. And yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah.
And the objective for TikTok.
I think it's going. I think the objective is what it is right now.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to just be creative with TikTok, just showcase my love for acting and showcase my ability and my skills for acting as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. On TikTok particularly, you bring the kind of content that it's generally entertaining,
Yes.
right? But there's also a message behind everything that you know you
Yes.
put out. I mean, recently you recreated the final episode of the Real Housewives of Durban,
Yes.
right? And it was such an incredible thing to
Yes.
watch. Like
Thank you.
every time you watch it, it's like you're watching it, you know, for the first time. But
Yes.
if you've watched it, it's like you actually watching it happening, but I'm
Happen.
watching you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's like how do you get to interpret such and also maybe carry a certain message?
I think when it comes to delivering a message, I usually do that through the political recreations. So I usually, because I find the EFF very funny.
Yeah.
So they're funny people in parliament. So I usually recreate that. And I know Umam Kaula from the party.
Yeah.
She has very strong will, and the messages that she shares,
Yeah.
although it might come across as comical, but she's saying something that's very real. So I like to raise awareness on what she's saying through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
As for interpreting, I think I've always been
On my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show. I ain't never
Are you a musician?
all I know. My eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise like
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour.
we work for a fall in line. We gon' give it our all until the end, until the end of time.
It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
very good at impersonating people. And also, I think I have a very good memory. So I'm able to remember stuff very well, especially if I really enjoy something.
Yeah.
It sticks in my brain. So that's why I always say, like, every single video that I've done, I genuinely enjoy it first.
Yeah.
And then I recreate it. I'm not going to make something that I don't enjoy, you know? So the fact that I enjoy it, it makes it easier for me to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, when one watches from the technical point of view,
Yes.
like one can see that it requires certain expertise to be able to, you know, in terms of the editing and putting
Yes,
together and
yes.
all of that. You know, what kind of work goes behind putting all the content together? Because you make it look so easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why
Yeah.
there are many people who would say they're content creators, but you look at their work and you're like, are you really?
I mean, it's all subjective. It's all subjective. I know for me, I was explaining on my Instagram the other day on how long some of my videos take. You know, some videos took 2 days,
Sure.
some videos 6-7 hours, some videos 3 hours, and it's different from when I started out. And I guess that speaks to growth and just developing. Because when
So what do you mean when you say it's different from when you started
Yeah.
out to now?
so when I started out, a lot of the videos that I made, I had recorded them maybe 30 minutes before I post.
Okay.
So it was pretty quick.
Quick, yeah.
So now my videos are longer. There's more characters within them. It's more complex.
Okay.
So there's more work put into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So-
And with that, with you saying that, do you feel that the space of content creation needs to be taken seriously in a sense of taking to a level of being professionalized because it needs expertise or it needs talent? What is your
I mean,
feel about that?
I think the beauty of content creation is how flexible it is and how non-exclusive it is.
Okay.
So anything can be content.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's dependent on how talented you are or how professional you are. Because at the end of the day, I feel like people want to relate. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I think content creation or and just the digital space, it comes in to fill a void because a lot of people wanted to see themselves on television, wanted to see themselves guy. And then here comes content creation and here comes the digital era. And it's like, you can do it here.
Yeah.
You can flourish here and you can make a name out of yourself here. And it's even a better way because that people relate to that much more. So yeah, I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, I'd say. Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And you've done so well.
Thank you.
Being very dynamic as well. and being flexible in how in your approach and all of that. And I mean, you've won awards. And that speaks for itself, you know.
Yes.
What does it mean to you, you know, for in your journey when you then get to a point of now you're getting awards?
Yeah. I mean, recognition is beautiful.
Yeah.
It always is, especially if you're being recognized for something you genuinely enjoy and
Yeah.
for something that's comes quite effortless for you. It's quite a beautiful thing. And I always say that those type of things are just pats on the back to say that you are actually in the right path. You're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Keep it up, keep it going. We want more all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's move to the fashion space,
Yes.
because I don't think I mean it's every time, everywhere, all the time.
Yes.
You show up. Is that intentional? And also when it comes to your sense of fashion and style,
Yes.
what is the plan behind it?
Yo, I think the plan for me, I always come up with something. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how it happened, but I'll come up with something
Yeah.
somewhere, somehow. And I always say that fashion is a self-expression, and that's how I express myself, through fashion.
Yeah.
I'll always come. I mean, coming here for this, I didn't know what I was gonna wear,
Yeah.
so I went to yesterday and I bought something and I cut it up, this,
No way.
and I cut it up. Like I do things like that. I have another thing,
Yeah.
like I have these crop tops that I cut up and then I cut them up and then they look like, you know.
Yeah.
I'll always just come up with something.
You're definitely creative.
Thank
You're
you.
definitely creative, because I remember at the this year at the opening part of the fashion week.
Yes.
Right. I saw you, but you looked totally different from the
Yes.
person that I know. Right.
Yes.
And I kept looking at you and thinking, who's this person?
Who's this person?
Like, who's this person?
Yeah.
Then eventually you walked past us and I'm like, it's him, you know. And,
yeah.
and I think that's the lovely part also about, you know, being a creative,
Yes.
that you'll bring interesting aspects.
Yeah.
But you also bring class and elegance, as
Yes.
much as you do it in a fun way.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, you bring that class and elegance, and it's really lovely.
Thank
you know, to see, because as a person who covers red carpets, for me, I really get excited when I see creativity. You know, when I
Yes.
see something different, because that's what fashion is. Like you rightfully say, it's an expression, you know, of your mind at the time where you are,
Yes.
how you feel,
Yes.
and all of that, you know.
Yes.
And I think that's why earlier I was asking you, what are your thoughts about the Met Gala?
Yes.
You know, this year. Do you feel that as South Africans we get into the international level, fashion wise, and from a point of people that consume fashion, not necessarily the fashion designers?
Yeah. I think we are.
Yeah.
I think we are. I mean, there's always room for growth in anything.
Yeah.
But I think we are well on our way.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are well on our way. I love the South African fashion scene right now.
Yeah.
It's the most. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. I love what's happening.
Yeah.
Really and truly.
Great. So you've grown your brand.
Yes.
It's been a lot of hard work that you've put in, and we love it as South Africans. But in the journey, in every journey, there are ups and downs that are happening. And generally, as queer people, we find ourselves from that perspective that we either get limited by certain things, or we either blocked out because we're queer, whatever the case may be. In your journey, how has it been? What has been your experience? And how have you been able to thrive besides the challenges that you came across?
I mean, in that regard, I haven't really faced anything in particular
Yeah.
when it comes to but I can speak from like a general point of view, growing up and just being within society and having to constantly explain your identity all the time. It's quite exhausting. And as I was saying earlier, it's difficult to operate from a place of genuinely wanting to educate And it's more enticing to operate from a place of hurt
Yeah.
and being a victim for so long because you just want to fight back and push back.
And also that's all you know.
That's all you know.
Yeah.
That's all you know because that's the circumstance you were forced to live under. So I'd say for me that's the major thing. That's the major thing. Constantly having to explain yourself, even
Yeah.
growing up. You know, I remember in primary school, I was bullied because I was more feminine than the rest of the guys. So I always had to, also being the only child and not having a sibling.
Yeah.
So you always have to fight your own battles because you can't even go back home and tell your parents because they're potentially homophobic as well. So you have no sense of safety, or you have no safe space. You always have to fight for yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also just trickled down to the type of person I am now. I'm always like, okay, we shall stand up for ourselves no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So it can be tough at times.
It can be.
It can
It really
be tough
can
at
be.
times.
It really
Yeah.
can be.
So we're now seeing you getting into the acting space.
Yes.
So seeing you on Queensdom now, and also having a major role in a production that is coming soon.
Yes,
How has that journey been like?
I think it's a privilege to be welcomed so warmly. I was overwhelmed. I think my first day on set for Queendom, I was overwhelmed because I'm like, I'm here with these big names. These people
Yeah.
I've been watching. I was seeing you on my television last week. What do you mean?
Now I'm here with
we're
you.
here with you. So those things can get very overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I was welcomed so gracefully. It's like, we've been watching your content. It's about time that you are taking up this journey. We are so proud of you. You know, it's been a long time coming. I know for a lot of my supporters, ever since I've started out,
Yeah.
they've been praying in my comments. Oh, we pray that we see you on television.
Yeah.
You know, from 2020,
Sure.
people have been saying,
Yeah.
we pray. So when it happened now, it was the most beautiful thing.
And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when you get home, it's all done. You're on your own.
Yes.
And you probably reflect to
Yes.
say, this has been something I wished for years.
For years,
you
yes.
know, it's here, it's happening. What do you say to yourself?
I take time to process things. I always say that if somebody was to kill me,
Yeah.
I'll die next year because I'm still processing who I'm dying. I take a very long time to
Yeah.
process things. So I had a bit of a moment a couple of weeks back, 3 weeks back,
Yeah.
and I just cried
Oh my.
because I'm thinking about all the achievements I've made thus far. Everything just comes to me all at
Yeah.
once. So I was crying because I'm catching up on the cries from, I think, 2022.
Wow. And
Everything.
what triggered that moment?
I think when they announced the show on Mzansi Magic Hamulefe, that's coming in June,
Yeah.
I think that's when it was like, because it's a queer show also,
Yeah.
I was like,
So could it be that because I mean Queensdom is also big,
Yes.
right? But this one triggers everything else.
Yes.
What do you think this one actually, turned on that light?
I think it's because it's a story that I relate to so much. You know, even on set, it's just that a queer experience.
Yeah.
Really, it's a story that I relate to so much. I think it was speaking to my childhood,
Okay.
and when they announced that show, it really just said to me, that little gay boy, and I'm that vowed to never come out as gay because I was so scared of the world.
Nice.
And now I get to be a part of the show that tells a story of me. I think that was
And comfortable, so
and
without worrying about
without
who
worrying.
say what, how is it going to be received, and all
and
of that.
it just made me think of how far I've come just by loving myself and just by personal identity.
Yeah.
How far I've come.
So if you were to talk to that young, and I shouldn't even say young, because there are even older
Yes.
gay people that are still not open about who they are,
Yes.
but are still held back for whatever the reason may be. When they
Yes.
watch the show, do you wish that they would watch it and take away from it?
I think inspiration is the most important thing I think that I'd want them to take away.
Yeah.
There's a lot to take away. There's a lot to be educated by. There's a lot to see.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to engage with. There's a
Yeah.
lot to relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And through all those different elements, I think inspiration is what I want them to take away from it.
Yeah.
Because it's a story about this young boy that grows up in Pimville and goes through many factors to try and figure himself out. He knows he's queer,
Yeah.
but it's about finding himself within that queerness as well. So inspiration is definitely what I want them to take away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. We're looking forward to it. Let's make sure that when it comes out, we are ready to watch it so we can not only see the talent that he is, but also, the message behind it that we can really, celebrate and enjoy and make sure that lives are changed as well in the process. And the interesting thing about you is that you're multifaceted.
Yes.
There's more to you.
Yes.
And I feel like this is not the end of you in terms of just acting and singing and
Yes.
content creation.
Absolutely.
What more can we expect?
I mean, there's always something to expect.
Yeah.
With me, shame. There'll always be something. But definitely more screen work, definitely more music, and definitely more content
Yeah.
as well, and definitely more fashion stuff. I was saying at the South African Fashion Week that I'm very much inspired to be occupying these type of spaces because it inspires me on what I can contribute in that realm of things. So fashion is definitely something I want to go into and see what I can do, how I can shake that industry.
Yeah.
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 It's definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Look, all the best.
Thank you so much.
I know that you will definitely do it. I think you have proven to everybody that once you put your mind on something, you
Yes.
bring it to life.
Yes.
So wish you all the best. And thank you so much
Thank you.
for making time to speak to us
Thank
and
you.
sharing so much with us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So until next time, we have him back again on the show because this kind of guests, you want to have them back again because there's so much more that you can hear, get from them, learn from them, and celebrate with them as well. So as we wrap up today's episode, of course, as we usually do it, we're looking at the myths and the facts. So today we look at non-binary. And by far, the biggest myth surrounding the non-binary genders is that they are made up. So this fallacy also takes the form of there are only two genders and non-binary is a fad. So some people are hesitant when they hear of non-binary because it's new to them. And newness is also an argument that many use against the reality of non binary genders. However, non binary people have existed in many societies for thousands of years, and many cultures even have words for them. And I won't even give examples. If you don't know, I'm giving you an opportunity to go research and find out just in your culture, and you'll hear. I've had conversations with my grandmother, and she told me stories that made me comfortable to understand that being queer is African. All right. So some don't believe in non-binary genders because they believe there are only two sexes. First of all, the existence of intersex people who make up about 2% of the population mean that that is entirely untrue. And secondly, non-binary is gender and really has nothing to do with sexual anatomy. So this is how for today we get to the end of the episode. Thank you for making time to join once again, and wait for the next one. It's going to be another interesting one, and make sure that you keep watching via Dreamstream app, of course, and you are welcome to DM me. And I am Tolo_Mbatha on all social media platforms. Let's have conversations, let's keep the conversation going. And on the YouTube channel as well, do subscribe and leave your comments and also invite others to watch. Until next time, from me and my lovely guest,
Tadéus.
Tadéus, keep well.